Look who's in 7th place after a round of match play at the Tournament of Champions. A couple weeks ago, Jakob Butturff told me his thoughts on string pins and why the mental game is so important. Hey everyone, Bowling with the Pfeff here at Sussex Bowl, the site of the Pro-Am on All-Star Weekend for the PBA. We've got Jakob Butturff hailing from Arizona with us. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me on. Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about, I guess, the excitement around this All-Star Weekend. It's something that we haven't really seen on tour before. What do you think? What are your expectations? All that good stuff.
It's definitely a first that we've done. Obviously, the game's definitely changed over the years. You never used to see all the two-handed styles across the world, but over the course, I want to say the last 10 years, it's definitely changed, and it's so great seeing all the styles growing up. I think a big part of it was just seeing all the two-handers get on tour, and once that started becoming a thing, they came up with the idea. It's like, why not see a one-hander versus two-hander show? And you see it on both sides of the lanes, left and right, and there's so many different things you could do. Me being a one-hander, so I compete against a lot of the two-handers, and it's always competitive. Obviously, the smack talking is going to be happening a little bit tomorrow, but it's just great to see, like, all the styles, in my opinion, like the more versatility that they do out there. And not saying that one-handers can't do it, but it's definitely crazy seeing like the amount of bowlers that you see are becoming two-handed too.
Yeah. I gotta ask, and I'm sure you've answered this question a bazillion times, how do you throw the ball the way you do?
It's a lot of flexibility in my wrist. It's hypermobility, obviously the term double jointed, and I have it in both my thumb and my wrist. It's just I'm able to be it's really flexible. Like, I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any pain in my joints, my thumb. So it's something I just started doing one day when I was, just goofing off when I was a kid. And next thing you know, it's like I'm bowling tournaments left and right, and just going out there. I started bowling more U tournaments when I was a kid, and then next thing you know, I'm bowling at ASU in college, and then next thing you know, I'm getting ready for the tour, and now it's officially, it's going to be, in July, it's going to be year 10, sorry. It's going to be my 10-year anniversary, so.
Awesome, yeah. Have you seen lots of changes in that decade? It seems like a long time when you step back and look at it, but if it goes fast, if you like it, right?
From my first show to my current show, like tomorrow's show, it's like, I definitely see the change. Winning as much as I can over the years. I try to stay as competitive as I can. Every bowler deals with some kind of mental injury, physical injury. It's like any other sport, in my opinion. You see it a lot with a lot of athletes, and bowling is definitely, I want to say, at least 85-90% mental. It's very difficult when you're competing against the best, and you see them get a break, and then when you can't get a break, it's like that's just something that can mentally drag you. Like, whether it's something that you want to say or something that you want to do, it's one of those things that you learn. But as a bowler, we try to learn from it, I want to say, because once you learn from something like that, you try to overcome it and try to still be up there and be one of the best.
Yeah. How's this season going for you?
Pretty, in my opinion. If I made the All-Star show this weekend, obviously it's got to be a good start. But no, I made the first show of the season. I finished second. I lost to Graham Flaw, who's going to be on the show tomorrow as well. But other than that, I've been just kind of like even keel. I've been making cuts. I've been cashing. Not really like anything to a high standard when it comes to beyond making those cuts. But I've always been like kind of like in that realm of, if I'm contending, like, I make cash, and I've had a couple of big blocks this season where I went from dead in the water to end up cashing. So, and I still managed to hang on to, I'm still top 10 in points right now. So if I have a really good Players Championship and Tournament of Champions, I end up making the playoffs. So as long as I can stick with it and bowl good in those tournaments, I'm still in contention on winning a couple titles.
Yeah. How do you feel about kind of how the schedule plays out this season? It's kind of stuffed into the first half of the year. And like you said, we've got boom, two majors coming up, one right after the other. We just came from the Masters. How is that for you? Do you enjoy having all that in a short period of time?
It's definitely grueling. It goes back to the whole mental thing. It's when you have 3 majors in a row, if you struggle in the first one, you kind of just have to put that aside and realize I still got 2 more majors to go. And it's not always an easy thing to do, because at the Masters, I want to say that's probably the hardest pattern we bowled on this year. Scores were low. When you got into match play, if you can kind of set up the lanes the way you want to, it was very moderate and easy for a couple of guys. but it shows on TV as well. Like, it can be so mentally grueling when you bowl out there. And I think, especially with majors, my first major show, I was sweating like a brick. Like, I mean, I was sweating like crazy. And, you know, it's very difficult, but at the same time, with the season being shoved so tight together, you have to treat every day like it's a separate tournament almost, because you can bowl the same tournament, have a really good first day, and then the next day you try the same game plan, it's completely different. So with this short period of time, I can honestly say it's grueling, it's tough, but when you're out here competing against the best, you have to take like a mental reset if you have to. If you have a bad day, and then just come back and realize it's a new tournament.
Yeah. One of the things that I guess those of us on the outside looking in talk about maybe a little too much is when guys get out of urethane and go to reactive. What's your process for that? I mean, is it different every time? Do you see something specific that makes you say, now's the time?
So I definitely see it at certain times, especially if I follow my own traffic. So a lot of times when we bowl in these formats where we bowl like these bracket match plays where you have to bowl a best 4 out of 7, typically I'll start with urethane urethane doesn't absorb oil, it carries it down. So I try to create like a little bit of like a carry down spot, so in that way, if I have to get in reactive, at least like I know there's enough oil in front of the head pin, so in that way it's not going to overhook and jump on me. So that's one strategy I have with it, and I've been doing a lot more studying this year with like who I follow among lefties I know. Obviously the Masters is very difficult because there's 400 bowlers. You don't know who's lefty, who's not, who's throws it backwards for all we know. Like, I mean, so... But at least when I bowl like the PBA events, I know who I'm following among lefties because I know who's lefty out of the exempt bowlers for the most part. So when I can kind of I studied a lot of their games over the past season, and so whenever I know what to do with their pairs, it's not necessarily like a get out of urethane or go to reactive adjustment. It's just knowing the bowler, in my opinion. So with the whole urethane thing for me is like I could still do certain tricks I know a lot of lefties can't. So most lefties will try to stay with it and struggle. I tend to struggle sometimes too, but it typically takes about at least 2, maybe 2.5, 3 games before I really start to see a drastic difference, basically.
Sure. The other kind of neat hitch about this weekend is the main competitions are being bowled on sanctioned string pins. I know you've got strings in your area. The training center, B3, is string pins. It seems like we've had regionals on string pins. Now we're in the exhibition type event on string pins. Would you be open to a national tour stop on string pins?
In my personal opinion, I don't mind it. Like, I mean, so my very first time that I actually bowled on string pins was right after COVID hit, and there was this bowling center in Scottsdale. It's not really bowling; it's like more of a fun center. It's connected. It's called Mavericks, and they had like a huge arcade. They had a 3D like little area. They had a mini golf course, but they had a bowling portion of it, but they were all string pins. So I got the first like little idea of how strings work, and I can kind of honestly tell you that string pins for me, I mean, I would love to go out there and bowl a tournament on it, like just to get a feel and just get a different idea on how pin carry is, in my opinion, because I've noticed a lot of time, like we practice on the string pins today over at Fox, what is it, Foxview. We practiced on the string pins today, and there was a couple of shots where I feel like I had to throw it absolutely perfect for it to strike, but then there's a couple of times where that light mixer hit gives it a little bit of a carry. So it's just a matter of you can't expect to strike on every shot with string pins, in my opinion. So you can throw it like picture perfect. I know a lot of guys on tour, when they throw it picture perfect, they strike. I don't think that's necessarily always the case on string pins. So. But in my opinion, yeah, I'd love to see a national stop. I want to see a little different ideas on how they're going to play the lanes too.
Yeah, good to hear. Thank you for the insight, and Jacob, enjoy your time in Milwaukee.
Thank you so much.
Have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Be sure and check out the other videos on this playlist for more from All-Star Weekend.
Thank you for watching Bowling with the Pfeff. Pound the like button and subscribe button. It's the easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. Bowling with the Pfeff is brought to you by Chip Magnet. Raise your snack standards.
Jerry's Score More Bowling Supply inside Wagner's Lane. So Eau Claire, Wisconsin area's leader in bowling products and services since 1988. And Visionary Video Hub. Video with impact.
Email bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com with questions or to appear on the show. You can also reach out on your favorite social media platform.